All right, guys, I thought since I know a lot of you may not have ever clicked on my dad's art, I'm going to show you some of it. This was his studio. We took a picture after he had died. This was the state of how it was. It's very haunting to look at that, to realize that, that was the state and that would never change. Well, we eventually turned this whole place into an art gallery. So this was all put in the basement in storage for a long time. But these paintings over here are very, very huge, but we couldn't fit the 13 footers in here. But this thing is 7 or 8 feet tall, these two paintings right here. But yeah, this is a pretty wild looking place. This next piece I'm going to show you is that piece I said called General Bodies. This outer exterior part here was not part of the piece. It was added. Somebody built this. That's why it's a different color. This was the box that I was referring to. This was added for stability, and notice one of the mannequins had already fallen apart and come apart, so there's only 4, and now it's gone, sadly. It was just, we couldn't maintain it anymore. Tried to keep it in storage, but phenomenal piece of work. This was the talk of the show. I don't know if it was shown in the video on YouTube, but the art gallery is there on YouTube, so I'm glad it's there. But as you can see right here, it says General Bodies. So very wild piece of art. This is huge. I'm going to readjust my camera a little bit just so you can see here. This was our home. This was the second floor. Now that's not going up higher than the second floor. This is obviously angled, but this is taller than me. I mean, this is an adult would stand to about here, probably. This is a bed frame. There was a Playboy magazine from like the 40s sitting on this table right over here. This, Franklin Rosemont, the surrealist, thought this was just a phenomenal thing. So this is what they said. Tristan Meinecke, America, at the 1976 World Surrealist Exhibition. This work became the domain of T-Bone Slim, which is what I mentioned in the video. And this was basically the feature piece. So I just wanted you to see this amazing piece. Even though it is a black and white picture, a phenomenal assemblage of art. This thing is so huge that my brother, when he was 3 years old, stood in front of it. He could crawl inside there. Just a big monster face. It was called Prophecy. No clue why he called it Prophecy. But quite a scary looking monster. And then to show you that, yeah, he also did normal art. This was painted from a real scene. This is Rend Lake, Illinois. You can look up Rend Lake on Google. We went camping in Rend Lake, and my dad sat up at the top of the hill. That's where our campground was, and just sat up there and painted this. That's me fishing in our Alaskan 14-foot fiberglass blue boat. Let me see if I can, if you can see that it's me. I'm not sure if you really can tell, but yeah, that's me fishing. So that's the lake, and there was camping over across the other way. And this is just how it looked. And the guy who was camping next to us wanted to buy it. He offered him $50, and my dad didn't want to sell it. And I'm like, $50? So I have it, and I got it framed, and it looks real nice. As a matter of fact, I'll show it to you. Hold on one second. All right, here it is on my bedroom wall. Got it framed. I was going to put the lights on, but then they just glared off the glass here. So, pretty cool. No clue how he got that kind of detail. And I watched him paint some of this, so that was very neat. Let's just say that I'm glad that I own one of his paintings that has me in the picture. That's very cool. All right. This is not going to show these as good as they are, but I'm going to do what I can here. So this is, let's see here. Keep the Home Fires Burning, 48 inches by 39 inches. He painted this, the reason he called it Keep the Home Fires Burning, and he painted this around the late 30s, early 40s. He spent years adding to it and changing things, like a period of like 4 or 5 years. Keep the home fires burning is what the government said to women in the country to keep the home fires burning until their men come back from war. So that was his response to that. I don't think I need to say anything else. All right. Then we have America, which I've already shown you. So that's on here too. This is an article that I had written on my blog trying to show his best pieces of art. This is called Musicians. I think somebody compared this to Chagall. I don't know. I don't know too much about Chagall. So if anybody knows, is that correct, or am I getting this mixed up maybe with some other painting? This painting called Musicians is, I'm trying to get the darn things, 49 inches by 67 inches, and it's almost 3 inches thick. It's not flat. It is just an incredible piece of art. People love that piece of art. Then we have this beautiful piece. I won't say the name of it first. I want you to just look at it. It is huge. Let me see if I can say what the dimensions are without giving it away. Can I? I'm gonna have to hold this up for a second. All right. 48 by 94 by 4.5 inches. So this is a split level painting. This is something that he created. As far as we know, he was the first person to create split level painting. So it's a painting behind the front painting. And he ended up calling this female. Interesting way of looking at it. I don't know why my camera is pulsing like that, but that's what it's doing right now. So there you can see oil on wood, split level medium. 48 inches by 94 inches, 4.5 inches thick. Then we have the first split level painting he did. This was shown at the Art Institute, and the guy described it as the only painting in the show that pushed back the frontiers of art, or pushes back against the frontiers of art, something like that. And my dad would say that for the rest of his life. He would say, the only painting. He really liked what the guy said. And then he talked about it and talked about how it was fairly compelling, but if you get too close, it becomes like a gimmick. And at a certain distance, he called it profoundly irritating, and my dad loved it. My dad loved that criticism of the art. Thought it was just amazing. So heterogeneous icon, I think it symbolizes man. This is supposedly his innards being poured out, bullet holes. There's a lot of, take it for what it's worth. It's showing man in his primal ways, I guess you could argue. This is probably my favorite painting by him. This is 48 by 72, 6 inches deep. This is three paintings. So here, right here, where I'm moving the mouse, is the back painting. Then you have this one in front of it, and then you have the outer one. The frame is wood. This is all masonite. Now, how he got that kind of detail, he told me he just had a shake board. Wobbly legs, a table like on wobbly legs, and he would pour the paint on it and shake it and create that effect. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can do that, but I can't do this. I have no clue how he created this piece of art. This is phenomenal to me. I have no clue at all. It's mind-boggling to me. Then we have this cool painting. I love the title that he came up with. I'm going to scroll down here. 48 by almost 60 inches. I don't know why we said 59 and a half. We should have just said 60. 3 inches thick, so it's split level. Open Rebellion. Oil on Masonite. Open Rebellion. That's just a great title. And it's a very cool looking painting. Then we have this amazing painting. Some of you are probably already saying it looks like someone, and you would be right. And he called it the perfect title, The Image. Oil on folded canvas affixed to plywood, 62 inches by 48 inches. So that's over 5 feet high and 4 feet wide. And the depth is 5 inches. Then we have this one is also one of his absolute best paintings ever. This thing is called The Labyrinth of Hysteria. It is 48 by 68. 5 feet 8 inches tall, 4 feet wide, and the layers in here, the split level, it's at least 3 paintings inside there. But it's amazing. I'm going to try to get close so you can really see. I have no clue how he structured all of that. How did he make all of that work? I'm baffled at how he made that painting. Now I love this next painting. I love the title. I love the way it looks. All right, let me give you the dimensions without telling you the name. It's 33 by 53 and a half by 3.5. Let me bring it down so you can see the whole thing without giving away the name, because I want people to really think what you see in it before I tell you what he ended up calling it. Now, it's a really cool name. That's all I'm going to tell you. Let me see if I can get this a little bit more so you can see the whole thing. We'll go down a little more. There you go. Well, you already saw the title probably. All right, that's where I wanted to stop. That's the whole painting. This is split level again. And I always said these look like will-o-wisps. I play Dungeons and Dragons. These things look like the glowing lights in the night sky. It's called Dangerous Curve, which is funny because there's a band called King Crimson that has a song called Dangerous Curve, and I really like the song too. I'm like, oh man. So cool. This is another phenomenal piece. Punctum contra punctum. Oil on masonite, 97 inches, 49 inches, 2.5 feet, 2.5 inches thick, 2.5 feet, 2.5 inches thick. Look at this thing. Punctum contra punctum. And so the idea here is there's a light source here, and I think there was another, yeah, here's like a dim light source. And that's hence what the title was. Someone was explaining why she said, I know why he called it that. The light point counterpoint is what it basically means. And it's just a beautiful piece of art. My God, 97 inches long. This is the one that my brother will never admit it, but he called it Ode to Pollock. It's, again, 97 by 48.5. My brother, for some reason, thought we shouldn't associate him with Pollock in any way. I was like, why? He called it Ode to Pollock. Now, he also called it Paintscape, which is why I put Paintscape here. We called it Signature. I don't know if I can show you. No, you can't really see it on this, which is kind of odd. It looked like he signed it in the paint, but I can't even see it from this painting. It's probably because it's just too darn small. Or maybe this is upside down and I didn't even realize that it was upside down. It's possible that I put this upside down on the thing. But this was his Ode to Pollock. My brother will say, no, I'm wrong. So there you go. I think it's a cool painting. This is another Paintscape, much smaller, 48 by 24 by 2, and just an incredible piece. Another Paintscape. He had several Paintscapes that he did. That was his field he was in. Then we have this very unique painting. I don't think he did anything else like this. Gray Man, we called it. All right, let me get it where you can see the whole thing. So this is supposed to be an abstract painting of a man in a suit carrying a briefcase. 49.5 by 73, 2 inches thick. So there's the man's head right here, and there's the briefcase right here, or there, maybe it's there, and that's his arm carrying, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Gray Man, love it, absolutely love it. We sold it, someone bought it. This is a great piece, but no one ever bought it. He said if he painted 25 like this, he'd probably be famous. Sitting Nude, oil on masonite, 48.5 by 72.5 by 1.5. He painted this painting in under 2 hours with a model. He was teaching an art class, and his students kept asking him questions like brush sizes, and they were getting nitpicky with brushes. And he said, look, you guys got to stop worrying about stuff like this. He took a 4-inch brush, and I forget what else he used, but the 4-inch brush, and he painted this because they were all trying to paint from this model who was posed like this. And he did this in like an hour and 45 minutes or something like that. He put this whole thing together. And one of the students in the class said, if I could paint like that, I'd throw a party. I'm going by what he said to me. So that's his words from memory. Amazing painting, sitting nude. Just an amazing painting. This one we don't have, but someone who saw our art on Facebook, but our Facebook page is no longer what it was. I don't know why. I had a whole bunch of art there. He took it all down for some reason. The art is still on Facebook, but not really. This is called Mother, and I'm sure you can see why it's called Mother. 71 by 47. This is another split level, but this man, his parents bought this from my dad, and he inherited it when his parents died, and he sent us a picture. And I said, man, I kind of remember that painting. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful painting. And I love how it's this oddly shaped painting. So it goes, this odd angle. Very cool. The next one is also unlike anything else you've seen. That's a little Post-it note. Just ignore that. Wild painting. What are these called? The mannequins did not have all this damage. See all this chipped stuff here? This was not chipped, and there was no hole in the head here. But it's just added to the effect of the art. He called this vignette. I'm not quite sure why. Oil on mannequin, parts attached to a wood base. 55 by 49 by 15 inches thick. This was, I think he did one for my brother too, but he painted this apparently after I was born. So this is representative of my birth. This is Dad. This is me obviously turned over and all the hands showing love. Very cool stuff. Really, really cool painting. This is wild. Untitled Oil on Asphalt on Oil and Asphalt on Masonite. I called it a chocolate cake when I was a kid. It looked like a chocolate cake to me. I don't know why. 85 by 44. He painted this painting. The street was being repaved, Cleveland Avenue, and he ran out on the street while they were paving, and he's scooping up the stuff, and they're yelling at him. Hey, what do you think you're doing? You can't do that. He goes, something like, it's important. He barked back at them. It's important. So they were like, oh, well, okay. And he scooped up this tar they were using, and he painted it on here while it was still hot. And he applied it, and he created this. It looks like stained glass. I mean, it's just wild. Now here's a small painting called Dancer. Let me pull back. Oil on wood. This is all wood. 26 by 50 by 5.5. It's kind of a small version of that Labyrinth of Hysteria painting that I showed you, that very complex painting. This is more of a simplified version. He had other paintings look just like this. We don't have them anymore. I think that's everything. Let me check. Yeah, so that's everything. I just wanted to show you his art. It's at least some of his art, and see what you think. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.